Hola amigos, hoy, hola amigos, hoy vamos a aprender sobre los verbos de cambio radical e a ie. So today we're going to learn about stem changing verbs e to ie and how to conjugate them. So this is our goal. You will be able to identify and conjugate e to ie stem changing verbs in the present tense. Stem changing verbs, when the form is in the boot, they're also referred as boot verbs because of this change that occurs in the stem that resembles the shape of a boot. So when the form is in the boot, the last e in the stem changes to ie. So here are some examples of E to IE stem changing verbs. Pensar, to think. Entender, to understand. Empezar o comenzar, to begin. Querer, to want. Cerrar, to close. And preferir, to prefer. So here how you conjugate those verbs in the present tense. Of course, all of those verbs could be one of the three kinds we already know about. They could be AR verbs such as pensar, ER verbs such as entender, or IR verbs such as preferir. This is how you conjugate them in the present tense. Let's take the sentence. Ellos, the verb is querer un helado. First step, separate the verb root from the ending. So in the case of querer, when you separate it, you have quer. Then you should think of what form do I want to conjugate it into. Is the form in the boot? In this case, we have ellos. Ellos is in the boot. Therefore, when you conjugate it, you have to change the E in the stem to IE. So rewrite the root, and when the form is in the boot, the last E changes in the root. Now add the correct AR, ER, or IR ending to match the person. In this case, since we have ellos is our subject in the sentence, therefore we need the ending "and" because that's the ending for the ER verbs, that's the ending in the ellos form. And last, rewrite the sentence. Ellos quieren un helado. So these are the steps. These are the things that should go in your mind when you conjugate the stem changing verb querer in the present tense. Let's see some more examples. So you have the sentence tú, the verb is entender, la lección. You understand the lesson. Here are the steps of thinking. Separate the verb root from the ending. Yes, so if you wrote intend, that's correct. Yes, so I would recommend you guys take a piece of paper and write down what we say, the steps. Then what form do I want to conjugate it into? Is the form in the boot? So you're going to look at the sentence above. So what is the form you want to conjugate it in? It's tú. Is the form in the boot? Here's the boot. Yes, it is. Therefore, we should have the stem change occur. Rewrite the root. When the form is in the boot, the last E changes in the root. This is where the change is. So we hear in the root we have E, the last E toward the end, and it changes to IE. Now add the correct AR, ER, or IR ending to match the person. So we know the subject in the sentence is tú, and for Now add the correct er or ir ending to match the person. The person is to in the sentence, the subject. Therefore, for the er verbs, you add ending es. The to ending for the er verbs is es. That's what you add. And then rewrite the sentence. Tú entiendes la lección. And here is your verb conjugation. Next sentence. Ellos, the verb is pensar mucho en la clase de inglés. Separate the verb root from the ending. So when you take off the AR, you're left with the root. In this case, it's pens. What form? Then the next step is what form do I want to conjugate it into? Is the form in the boot? So we want to conjugate it for ellos because that's the subject in the sentence. Is that form in the boot? We can see ellos is in the boot. Now rewrite step 3. Rewrite the root when the form is in the boot, the last E changes in the root to IE. We have ellos is in the boot, so we change the E to IE. And we have now the stem piens. Now add the correct AR, ER, or IR ending to match the person. Now since we have ellos as the subject, the ending for AR verbs, because pensar is an AR verb, is an. So write down piensan. And last, rewrite the sentence. Ellos piensan mucho en la clase de inglés. And here is your conjugation. Another sentence. You want to conjugate the verb in the sentence. Yo, the verb is preferir las bananas a las manzanas. Step 1, separate the verb root from the ending. Go ahead. Sí, prefer. Should be your answer. Step 2, what form do I want to conjugate it into? Is the form in the boot? Look at the sentence. Sí, yo is the form. Is yo in the boot? Sí, it is. Step 3, rewrite the root. When the form is in the boot, the last E changes in the root. So in this case, it does change. The last E. Yes, here's the last E. It changes to IE. And the new stem is prefier. Step 4. Now add the correct AR, ER, or IR ending to match the person. We have an IR verb. So the correct ending for the IR verbs for the yo form is O. So you have prefiero. And last, rewrite the sentence. Yo prefiero las bananas a las manzanas. And here is your conjugation. The next sentence. Carla, the verb is cerrar la ventana cuando tiene frío. Step 1, separate the verb root from the ending. Yes, ser is when you do that. Step 2, what form do I want to conjugate it into? Look back in the sentence. We have Carla, which means the same as ella or she. Is the form in the boot? Ella is in the boot, so we do have a stem change. Step 3, rewrite the root with a stem change. Cierra. Step 4, now add the correct AR, ER, or IR ending to match the person. Cerrar is an AR verb, so we need to add the AR ending for ella, which is a. Cierra. Rewrite the sentence. Carla cierra la ventana cuando tiene frío. Cierra is your conjugate. So here's another example. Nosotros, the verb is preferir la leche al jugo. Separate the verb root from the ending. Yes, if you wrote prefer, that's the answer. What form do I want to conjugate it into? Look at the sentence, the form for nosotros. Now is the form in the boot. You can see the form of nosotros is not in the boot. Rewrite the root now, given this information. Prefer, we do not have a stem change since nosotros is not in the boot. Now add the correct, in this case, IR ending, because preferir is an IR verb. And the ending for nosotros is imos, preferimos. Rewrite the sentence. Nosotros preferimos la leche al jugo. And here is your conjugation. Next, one last example. Los niños, the verb is querer, comprar unas hamburguesas. The verb is querer. Separate the verb root from the ending. You are left with care. What form do I want to conjugate it into? Look at the subject. The subject is los niños, which is the same as ellos. Is the form in the boot. Ellos is in the boot. Therefore, we have the stem change occur. Now rewrite the root with the stem change that happens. You have quer, quer. This is your stem change. Now add the correct, in this case, er ending to match the person. The person is ellos. The verb is an er verb, so the ending for er is n. So we have the verb form quieren. Rewrite the sentence. Los niños quieren comprar unas hamburguesas. And this is your conjugation. Okay, so I hope this is helpful and will help you with the examples that I have in Go Formative.